Thursday, May 24th, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. Guys, in this video, we're going to take a look at a couple of tropical storms. In fact, this one's a Category 1, Category 2 hurricane over in the Arabian Sea. The next storm we're going to talk about is the one that's set to impact the Gulf Coast of the United States on Sunday. Hasn't quite formed yet, but it's starting to collect its assets and turn into some sort of a storm. We'll have to wait and see. But first, this storm here that's hours away from making landfall in the North Arabian Sea, these people, if they haven't been told what's coming, they need to prepare for a almost apocalyptic flood. And let me explain why. This area here is not very prone at all for seeing tropical storms, let alone hurricanes. This is the location, and there's the storm on Google Earth. If you zoom into this location, it is like having a hurricane in New Orleans, if not worse. It reminds me of the setup in Montecito, California back in February. See what I'm talking about right here? Put the weather back on. Look where that storm's going. It's already starting to impact that area. And I think it's like 2 o'clock in the morning in this area. So the only bright side is it will be daylight when this starts to make landfall. But it's supposed to linger around landfall for about 12 hours. But look at this. This is where the right side of the eye wall is headed. That's a 2,000 foot, if you measure that, even though it extends out over the course of 10 miles, there's a 2,000 foot difference from the top of this foothill, if you will, to the bottom. Let me measure it real quick just to show you. I don't know if I can measure it here. I can show you how far it is in miles. We'll go from here to here, and it expands about 11 miles, okay? But the altitude is much different. The ground level is 300 feet. It goes up to 2,500 feet. So you're looking at a 2,200 foot difference. All of this water is going to collect in the upper foothills of these, well, the upper part of this mountain range. It's all going to run downhill onto these people down here. And there's no vegetation. Reminds me of the burn scar over in Montecito, California, that had nothing to challenge the water as it went up into the foothills above Montecito, and it was like 4 or 5 inches of rain that created a terrible landslide over there. That's the setup that's about to take place here. Look at the eye of that storm. It's going right in that cove. It's going right in that catcher's mitt, right in there. All of that water is going to come rushing right back downhill with nothing, and I mean nothing, to stop it. That looks like just barren sand. You can tell these people aren't used to getting storms over here. Do they know what's coming? I mean, this is an unbelievable setup here. Look at that. This is all going to be flooded. If that storm stays on course, which it looks like it's going to, according to, not this one, but this one here. Oh yeah, it's headed right in that pocket. And will probably deliver a lot of rain. Those dark reds are intense rain and high winds. That's a terrible setup right there. I kid you not. That is an apocalyptic setup. So I hope those people know what's coming. That's over in Oman. If you know anybody in this area here, that's exactly where that storm is about to take place. Southern Oman. And it's going right in the area of Salah. Right in here. A lot of rain is going to come back down this slope and wash into this community. So if you know anybody in that community, you might advise them to be prepared for the potential for fast-moving high waters. It can and will happen, and it has happened in the past, not too long ago, over here in the United States, in Montecito. And these are some of the pictures. Look at the boulders that storm system moved, and I think it was only like 4 or 5 inches of rain. But the terrain was very familiar at the time because it had just went through a wildfire and there was no vegetation or trees or anything to stop the rainfall from coming back down. So big heads up if you're in southern Oman. This storm system has the potential to create a lot of chaos in that area right there. So be prepared, guys. Be prepared big time. That's a very serious situation right there. No doubt about it. Back to the U.S. and that's this storm here. It's actually a Cat 2. It's Cyclone Mekunu. The storm here is not yet named, still in the Caribbean. If it does become a named storm up in the Gulf of Mexico, it will be Alberto. Hurricane Alberto. That's Mekunu right there. Alberto, if it does become Alberto, will go up into the Gulf. That's the future path of this storm. They're saying somewhere in the Florida Panhandle, possibly New Orleans, in that area there, Alabama, Mississippi. So look for a landfall probably on Sunday, maybe as a Cat 1 or a tropical storm. It's too early to tell, but it is starting to collect its assets, if you will, and make a run for the shore. So we'll see. Still got the weekend to go, but once it gets into the warmer Gulf waters, then it will start to gain momentum. So that storm is still in the making. This storm here is about to make a landfall, and that situation over there could get ugly very, very quickly. And that's in southern Oman. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a super day, and as always, be safe out there.